Hello, my name is David Colson, and this is my submission for MEC 111, Lab 4. Today we're talking about generic sequence flowcharts. These start off with a step for each position of the machine, and that at each step it makes one change to the machine, and once it finds, and we know that it's completed that step when it has a specific input or a sensor has reached a certain value. And then down here we can see the requirement for the next transition to go to the next step. So this is our step, this is our transition over here, and then this is our next step. So once, the way we'd read this is for step 1, once A1 is active, once A1 reads high, which would be input A 0.4 in our PLC, then we will transition to step 2. At step 2, we change Q02 to equal 1, and that will close our claw, and we can confirm that by input C1, sensor C1. So once sensor C1 reads high, input B 0.0, we transition to step 3, and so on and so forth. So this goes all the way down. Now this system's unique that it doesn't really have a discrete stop as a start point. Usually you'd have your start up here, the start of the sequence, and you'd have a unique start condition here. But this system doesn't have that. So that's why I've included these notes on the side, just to give some other basic understanding of the system of what happens. Basically what happens when we use the user controls, which are the auto manual switch, the start button, and the stop button. And this kind of prevents us from having to put in lots of details in our sequencing that would make this really hard to read. Because if I made a second state, which is an option here, like these transitions don't have to go straight. You can have this branch off and have a second alternative sequence for this machine. And if you did that, you would have, instead of 6.1, you'd have like 6.1 over here, and then you'd have 6.2 over here. And then they would both rejoin down at another step lower down. So that's an option. But in order to avoid making two different branches for the entire sequence, I've just included some basic information about the working of the machine on the left here. Let's take a look at the rest of the sequence. There's not really a whole lot to see on this slide. Basically, it's just the completion of the sequence for the arm. The complete sequence, basically, it will pick up an item. It will it will move the arm down. It will grab the item. It will lift the arm. It will rotate the arm to the other position. It will lower the arm again, open the claw, close the claw, pick up the item, rotate back to the initial position, lower the arm, drop the item. Then, interestingly, it raises, lowers, and then picks up the grabs the item again. So it moves in full sequence. And that's the full explanation. Basically, the way we read this chart is how I described it. I'm trying to find more things to say about this, but I don't have any, so I'm going to submit this. Thanks for watching.